Hi, today we're going to be working on activity 39 in Excel. It is a little different, okay? We're not going to start in Excel. We are going to start in Notepad. So you're going to need to go down to the search box, which is down here on your screen, and you're going to need to type in Notepad. The icon for Notepad looks like this little icon that's down here. And when it opens up, you're basically just going to see a white screen. Okay, it is the most basic program. It is on every single PC computer. It's been on there since Windows was invented. So basically, it's just a place where you can type. Period. It is also a place where if we want to get rid of formatting of some kind, we can just copy and paste into Notepad and use that. We will be using it again later when we do some web design because we will learn to code HTML in that particular software. Again, very basic software. What we're going to do once we get into Notepad, oh, by the way, if you have a Mac for some reason, Text Editor is, I believe, the program you want to look for in this case. Okay, so once we get in there, we want to type music genres as it is up here at the top. And then we want to leave a space, and then we want to start with artist, comma, album, comma, genre. And you'll notice there's a space after the comma, and then we would press enter and go to the next line. When we are, what we're doing here is we're typing up something we're going to import into Excel. And a lot of times with different programs, we can import or export from one to the other. And sometimes that takes some adjusting in between, but basically the idea is that we want to be able to easily do that. So if you just follow this format, do not make it pretty, do not change the font or colors or any of that stuff. Do not do anything special as far as spacing is concerned. Just type it. It's not going to look pretty, it's ugly, and it's supposed to be. Okay? So you want to type all of these in. Again, you want to put a comma between them and a space. Artist, comma, space. Album, comma, space. Genre, enter. Weezer, comma, space. Death to False Metal, comma, space. Pop rock, enter. Okay, so that's the kind of thing that you want to do then. Once you get all of that done, you want to go up to File, Save As, and make sure that it is saved as a text document. If this does not come up as the Save As type text document, change it to All Files if that is not there, and you can add the TXT in there. Okay, so once you get that in there, then I'm just going to change this so it saves it. And so it's going to save it to wherever you tell it to. Pay attention to where it's saving it because you need to pull from it. So mine is going to be saved to my desktop. You can save yours to your Computer 9 folder or wherever you're putting stuff. Okay, and you hit save. All right, so then the next thing you want to do is close out of Notepad. Finally, after that, you're going to open up Excel. Once you open up Excel, you are going to start with a blank workbook. So it's going to just be a blank workbook like you're starting an activity, but you're not. You already typed the activity actually. So we're going to go to up at the top, the tab that is Data. And we're going to click on Data. And we are going to note that over here, this is where we can import and export and change some things around and filter and sort and all kinds of exciting stuff. So we want to basically go right here, we want to pull from text, okay? So we're going to import from text and we want to click on that. Once we do that, it may sit for a minute and that's okay. And it's going to say, well, where is this file you want to import from? Mine is on my desktop, so I'm going to go there and find it. I believe that Okay, here it is. And I'm going to click import. And again, it may sit and spin for a little bit, not very long, but long enough to maybe make you wonder. And then you're going to see, like some of this stuff that you typed. And the beauty of it is that it's going to put it in columns. Okay, and if you did it right, it should be in the right columns. This should be the artist, this should be the album, this should be the genre. If one of them is messed up, don't worry about it, you're just going to fix it. If all of them are messed up because you forgot to put in commas or something, then you may need to go back and fix that text document to make this work, okay? The delimiter is, that concept is very important to this idea of import. The delimiter that we used was a comma, and that's why I kept insisting that you type that comma and then a space so that it could see that, because the computer is reading that as this item goes in cell 1, this item goes in cell 2, this item goes in cell 3, go to the next row, and so forth. So you basically are telling the computer what to do with it. And so the comma delimiter is probably the most common. Other ones that are common are the semicolon. And we might use that if we had things in our titles that had commas in them, for instance. Then we wouldn't want them to put those in separate columns. We would want to make it clear that that all went in the same column. So we would use a semicolon in between the artist, album, and genre. Or the tab is probably the second most common after the comma as far as delimiting things. So sometimes we can use a tab in there. And that's another reason I was like, don't make it pretty, because sometimes kids will throw in tabs to make it pretty. Well, then it gets all confused. It doesn't know what it's like. Okay, you're using a comma, but there are tabs too. What should I do? And it's like, no, you don't want both of this. So we want to say comma there. So you don't really have to do anything. I just wanted to go over that. And then you're going to click on load. Okay, now load is going to take a minute. Again, a couple seconds, and ta-da! There it is. All right, so what we want to do is we can click the X over here and get rid of this queries thing. The queries is something that we could work with. We will be doing queries when we get into databases later this year, but for right now, we're not going to worry about that. And basically, a query is like we're searching for something specific. Okay, we want to know all of the music genre that are R&B, for instance. Well, that's only going to pull up one result. Or if we wanted to know all of the music genres that are pop rock, okay, it would only pull up those results. So, and with the sample this size, that's not a big deal, but if you had thousands or millions of entries, like in an inventory for a store, and you wanted to know which ones were in the category of sneakers, for instance, then you would pull up all the sneakers and you could see, how many different styles you have, types, and so forth. That it's really helpful to query. We're just not going to do it right now. Okay, so once we have that much, then we want to mess with this thing over here. Now, I've been having some trouble with my recorder, so I am not, it seems like every time I try to get rid of the header row up here, it causes a problem. So I'm just going to leave that there for the moment. And we're going to go to, now it says in your book, number 6, bold cell A1 and change the font colors, or change the font size to 16. It's talking about music genres, so I'm just going to click on that, even though it's in a slightly different cell here. It is A2, so we're just going to adjust where these are. So we want to change A2, and we're going to go up and to the home, and we are going to type in, we're going to make that bold. There we go. And we're going to make it a 16 point. Okay, and then it also would like us to select these things right here, artist, album, and genre. Now in your book it says to format cells A3, B3, and C3. In this particular format, those are A4, B4, and C4 because of this header thing that it threw in there. Okay, we can get rid of that, but we're not going to do it right this second. So, and the reason, again, is because my recorder's a little funky. You're welcome to get rid of it if you would like. Um, so, what we want to do with those is we want to display a line border outside and inside of each cell. The easiest way to do that is to go up here underneath where it has the font and the size and so forth, and we want to click on that. And again, you can do multiple things here, but the easiest way is to go to more borders, and it's going to show you, like how it can border. We want a double line border, so we're going to click on that, and we want it on the outline and in the inside. So we're going to click on that there, okay, and we're going to click OK, and it's going to give you a look like that. The last thing we want to do is add a header and footer, so we're going to go up to that Insert tab, and we're going to go down over to Text and do a header and footer. And in the header, we want to type, forgive me, Activity 39 and your name. And then in the middle tab, we can put in music genres. Oops, need an E in there. And then in the last one, we can add the current date, which is that button that's up here, and it's going to put in the little code so that it will change every time you open it up. And then before we get out of there, we're going to click on the footer, and it just wants you to do the page 1 footer. Okay, it should look like that. And then you can save it and send it to Canvas. And of course, you want to call it music genres. And you want to, don't save it as a text file if that comes up, as a workbook, and save it and send it. Okay, just going to save that. All right, so I am going to stop there. I am going to show you that if I wanted to get rid of this particular, let's get out of this header thing. If this particular row, you could select the row and just delete it, okay? And again, you can just go up here and delete it, or you can go into the table tools and get rid of the header row there, okay? But I'm not going to do it because, again, I have tried to record this like 6 times, and for whatever reason, every time I do that, it stops, and I can't get it back. So good luck with that, and please, I will not be upset if you have a header row. Okay. As a matter of fact, if you go to File, Print, you can see that it shows up in there, but it's not a big deal. Okay. So either way, I will accept it and give you full credit. All right.